Sydney International Airport right now. I have just checked in and I've gone through the security gates. I am flying into Hong Kong for a 2-hour layover there, and then I'm gonna go Hong Kong to Paris. And this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the start of my expat life, or my expat year in Paris. So yeah, that's it. Flying with Cathay Pacific. No lounge this time. I already had lunch before going here. Had lunch with the family, just at the food court. This time, obviously this is like my second time moving abroad. I had more nerves and anxiety getting prepared to actually fly. Like, sorry, not to fly, but like getting prepared to like move overseas. I think the first time when I was like going to London, I was more excited at the beginning, and then afterwards, that's when I got scared, when the reality hit that I was going overseas. This time it was the opposite. I think it's more because I'm a bit older, kind of know what I want to do this time around. It's not just a year overseas to just travel and have a good time, but there's a lot more things that I want to achieve in terms of like my career and in terms of my life. So yeah, I've actually taken the time this time to like figure that out, and I think maybe that's the reason why I'm feeling a bit more anxious in terms of like the preparation behind all of this. I've got about an hour or so for me to like actually just relax, and yeah, just to relax before I head off and board my flight. I'm exhausted. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe I'm actually going. It's been like 6 years since I've been back in Sydney. Well, technically 5.5. But this time, 6 years ago, when I was stuck in Sydney, and I was stuck here because I couldn't fly back to the UK, back to London. And I remember I had to like work remote. I was working like remote on UK hours here in Sydney, because I was working for a company back in London at the time. I actually didn't think I would have been able to like pull this off again. I think because it's been so long and because it's taken so many attempts to try to get back. Yeah, it still doesn't feel real that I'm going, but I'm more excited this time around versus moving overseas last time, because obviously last time was like my first time moving out of home and also moving to a new country. This time now, I feel a bit more grounded, I would say. Yeah, I would say I'm a lot more grounded this time around. But yeah, let's see. I mean, a lot can happen in a year, but I think there's a lot that I want to get done. Not just the traveling that will just happen naturally as just by living in the EU. But yeah, I think professionally, in terms of like having a business, yeah, this time is going to be a lot more. We're going to be a lot more unconventional, and I think one thing that I'm going to be doing is just following my gut and also going after everything that when I think of like the best version of myself, what does that actually look like my life? Yeah, let's see what I can pull off. am in Hong Kong airport now. I'm just waiting for my next flight off to Paris, and I am absolutely exhausted because I haven't had like good sleep in over the past few days. Like, I really just want to get on the plane and just sleep throughout the whole flight. So then, because I land in Paris on 8 a.m. and then that's like, it'll be like the start of the day. I've got about like an hour before we board, which is perfect because then I can like charge all my stuff. I'm feeling, I think it's starting to hit now that I'm really on my own, which is fine. I know I can handle it, but there is still a part of me that just feels a bit nervous and scared, I would say. Not because I can't handle it, but because I know it's going to be hard. And I know it's only for a year, but I think there's a lot that I feel like I'm like subconsciously putting a lot more pressure on myself to make this work and just to make sure that I achieve a lot in this year, because I waited so long to move back to that side of the world, and also because my visa when I was living in London, I didn't even get a full 2 years because of COVID. So I feel like I've just got this extra pressure and this extra want to actually be able to like make this like the best year ever, not just in terms of travel and like enjoying Paris life, but also professionally, career-wise, whatever I decide to do business-wise. But I honestly think these next few days, I really just want to sleep. I've been here for a couple of days now. I didn't realize like how exhausted I was until I actually got here and just relaxed. But it's been really good. These next few weeks, I'm just gonna relax, take it easy, and then that's when I'm probably gonna start looking for work. Just having like a chill day today, and I'm definitely gonna pack because I am flying to Madrid tomorrow morning. Tomorrow lunchtime, but I have to be at the airport at like 9:30. I'm gonna be there for the tennis, so the Madrid Open, which is a Masters 1000 tournament, and it's also a clay tournament as well. So I'm so excited for it, especially just because like it's like my first time going to a Masters 1000 tournament, but also it will actually be like my first clay event as well. So that's going to be interesting. I've only ever done, I would say, 2 tennis tournaments. Then the United Cup in Sydney, and then the Australian Open. Those are the only 2 tennis events that I've actually done. I did have tickets to watch the Davis Cup, which was like Australia versus Belgium, but that was the day that after I came back from my Europe trip last year. So I was pretty jet lagged at that point, but that's all. So now I've got a few other tournaments booked. I'm going to Roland Garros as well in a few weeks, so I'm like so excited about that. Just chilling today, and then tomorrow head to Madrid for the tennis. There's breakfast combinations where you get a croissant, you get a bit of a baguette, orange juice, a hot drink. I decided to go for an espresso. I think it's always extra if you pay for milk. I think everyone here drinks espresso or double espresso, so I'm just like, which is fine. Like I usually have like a long black coffee at home, and if I want like extra calories, I usually do like an almond latte. But yeah, this is definitely an adjustment. So I can't believe I'm living here. I think it's just it hasn't like hit me. Like it's starting to hit me, but like yeah, even just like walking through that market this morning, it's only just starting to hit me now, like in a good way. We have marmalade here. Okay, so why Paris? Okay, so Paris, like what's got me here and why am I here? How, when, for how long, whatever. Basically, I've always like grown up, had this feeling of wanting to live abroad, and from as long as like I'd say since high school. And I think at that time when I was in high school, New York was always somewhere that I wanted to live. But as I got older, I realized that London was more suited to me, and I ended up doing it. I ended up living in London from 2018 to 2020. The last 6 months of my visa in London was when COVID happened. Now, what happened after that was stuck in Australia during the peak of the pandemic, and that was I had flown back to Australia for my best friend's wedding. Saying that, I was working remotely in Sydney while I was stuck there during COVID. I ended up going back to London. Basically, I had like my final summer there as a Londoner, and I miraculously somehow managed to get back to Australia towards the end of 2020. Managed to get back when my visa ended. Well, I had plans to actually move to Berlin straight after my London, like my UK visa ended. It was a place that I decided to go because I had friends and I knew a lot of people there. Well, I knew enough people there. And it was also because I knew I wasn't ready to move back to Australia. I had a few other attempts to like move back to this side of the world, but that obviously didn't happen. And I think probably the final attempt that I had was I was trying to move back to somewhere in the EU. Obviously, it wasn't meant to be because I ended up rupturing my Achilles from playing tennis. So at that point, I was already ready to give up. But last year, I ended up going back to the EU. Did a month of just traveling around. And I thought to myself, if there was anywhere here in the EU that I feel like I get a good feeling about it, or that I got feeling that I need to be here, then I'm just gonna try one last time and that's it. Lo and behold, Paris has always been somewhere that I've always loved coming to and traveling around. It was just never somewhere that I thought that I would end up. It wasn't really an option that I'd considered. Anyway, I ended up applying for the visa, and yeah, now I'm here. I'm on a working holiday visa. That's for 1 year. And I think after like living back in Australia for the past, I'd say, it was about 5.5 years, made me realize that there are a lot of things that over the past 5 years, lifestyle-wise, that is really not just me. So this next year
It's essentially a year where I go after everything that I believe is more aligned with my values, whether that's doing something more creative or content, whatever on the side, building a business. I've always seen myself like owning my own business or building businesses long term. I've always seen myself to be that kind of person. And just also being able to like have a lifestyle that just aligns with my values. So being able to travel whenever I want. And I know it's a very privileged thing to say because I know a lot of people who aren't that privileged or that lucky to have that as an option to be able to travel whenever they want. I essentially, late last year, after I came back to Australia from that trip, like traveling around Europe and the UK, I essentially did an audit of my life and I looked at everything that was working, every area of my life, and I kind of ranked them. I ranked them in terms of like what out of five, like what, like how do I feel about this aspect of my life. And that's when I realized that, okay, if I keep going the way that it's going, in 5 years' time, am I going to be happy? No. In 10 years' time, am I going to be happy? Absolutely not. So that's why that kind of gave me a sense of urgency to apply for this French working holiday visa. I'm not sure where this is going to lead to, but I figured that it would be better if I give this a try, because if I kept going the way that I was going, I knew what the end result was going to be and I wouldn't be happy or content with where my life had progressed, let's say 5 years from now. So now, going back to what I was saying before, doing everything that I can to do things that are aligned with my values, being around people that I see like the best version of myself, the kind of people that I'm surrounding myself around. Again, everything aligned with my values. Focusing a lot on the creative, like whether it's content, whether it's writing again, which is what I used to do in London. Work wise, I don't know, let's see, like something that is actually going to be helpful for my career. Just in a place where I'm not like constantly like thinking about everyone else and doing things that is right for everyone else and like completely like forgetting about like my own wants and my own needs. I mean, a year, if you compare that to 2 year, like a year in Paris versus 2 years in London, that's a huge time difference. But I think in a way, having only 1 year in Paris is going to allow me to be a lot more intentional and a lot more picky with how I spend my time and what I do with that time. Anyway, that was like my why did I move here and how long it's for. So yeah, if you're interested in like seeing how I navigate life in Paris, you know, how I navigate doing a complete rebrand of my whole life and see what happens in this next year and how I am in a year from now, follow along. I mean, even if that's not something that you're interested in, like if you want to go just look at my stuff when it comes to exploring Paris, exploring the arrondissements, or whether it's my weekends around France or just the EU in general, like if that's something that you're interested in, yeah, follow along. Let's see, hopefully I get some sort of tangible results from this rapid, intense 12-month rebrand of my life. And hopefully if this inspires you to do the same thing, then let's do this together. Let's figure this out, because do I have, besides those few things that I want to be focusing on, do I have any idea what else I'm going to be doing? Absolutely not. I have no idea. All I know is that my gut tells me that I need to be here and I need to do this for myself, because if this all works out, this could like change my life in the most amazing, positive ways. But if it doesn't and it's still the same, at least, and I go back to life in Australia, doing what I was doing before, at least I can look back on the past 12 months and think to myself, you know what? Yeah, I gave something different a go. That's kind of the goal. Flying out to Madrid tomorrow for the tennis. And yeah, it'll be my first city break slash first tennis weekend away as a Parisian.